Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Morgan Ariel Show. The women are going insane.
I deserve to be freaking heard. So fucking tired.
I don't think that you're okay. What I'm seeing all over social media and the uproar over Lindsay Clancy, I do not think that you're okay. But before we dive in to this trial, please hit the like and subscribe button and drop a comment at the end. So it seems like every decade or so that there is a story that takes the nation by storm. And this one is a little different. This one is odd. The Lindsay Clancy trial is going on right now. And she killed her 3 children, Cora 5, Dawson, who was 3, and Callan, who was 8 months old. And the question is not whether or not she is actually guilty of committing the murder of her 3 small children, because in fact, that is not up for question. Although social media and the wine moms have decided that they are going to take to social media and accuse the father, who is a victim and had his children ripped out of his life by this wretched demon, I might add. But the question is whether or not she was in the right state of mind when she committed the act of killing her children. This is a tragic case where a mother was struggling with mental problems, more specifically postpartum depression. And the defense is arguing that she was in postpartum psychosis at the time that she murdered all 3 of her small children. Now, Lindsay did not start developing postpartum symptoms until Callan, the youngest son, was about 3 months old, which many of the expert testimony of the physicians stated that that is not a common occurrence. Nevertheless, Lindsay was treating with multiple psychiatrists and she was on a ton of medications. And so people are using the fact that she was crying out for help as an excuse for her to have murdered her children. Can we snap back to reality, please? Murder is wrong, no matter what the circumstances are. Are we going to say that Irina Zarutska's killer is innocent because he pled insanity at the time that he decided that he was going to stab her in the neck while she was riding on a train going home from work? What kind of precedent does it set if people can just say that they're crazy every time that they commit a heinous act and then they don't get the death penalty? Which is what I believe that this woman should get. Because even if she's insane, even if she was insane at the time of killing her children, yes, anybody who would kill their children is insane. Anybody who would kill anybody for no good reason is insane. But does insanity mean that they didn't know what they were doing? Was she so insane that she didn't know what she was doing? I think that she did know what she was doing. So if you don't know the story, Lindsay Clancy in the state of Massachusetts on January 24th of 2023 sent her husband to the CVS to pick up medication for her. While he was there, she called him and asked him if he could also pick up food for them. This man was gone for not even an hour. And he came back and she had methodically, in my opinion, strangled all 3 of her children with exercise bands. Took the children one by one to kill them and had to hold them down for 4 minutes, maybe a little more, to kill each of them. While she was killing them, she told them, and I quote, that you are going with God now. If she was in such a psychotic episode that she didn't know what she was doing, she wasn't coherent, how did she strategically plan to send him out of the house? She planned how she was going to kill him. And then, she tried to kill herself, which honestly, who cares about her at this point? We have 3 little babies that are dead. But yes, that is another tragic part of the story is after she killed them, she jumped out of the window. She's alive. And she will not testify at the trial, mind you. But the thing that makes this so sick and sinister to me is watching, if you think that this woman didn't know what she was doing, listen to the text message exchange that she had with her husband while she sent him out to the store to run errands for her while she murdered their children.
Lindsay, how's it going? Lindsay to Patrick, good. Lindsay to Patrick. Okay, her urine looked good, so nothing going wrong with her kidneys. Phew. Patrick to Lindsay. Good, with a smiley face. Lindsay to Patrick. No message content. Patrick to Lindsay. Oh, wow. Patrick to Lindsay. You're a good mama. Lindsay to Patrick. Smiley face with hearts. Lindsay to Patrick. Blank. Patrick to Lindsay. Laughed at an image. Lindsay to Patrick. Any chance you want to do takeout from 3V, period, period, period. I didn't cook anything, period, period, period. It's been a long day. Smiley face. Patrick to Lindsay. Yeah, smiley face. Lindsay to Patrick. Okie dokie.
The love and compassion that I heard from Patrick, her husband, when he's texting her as she is in the process of going and killing their children is beyond me. It is wicked. It is evil. It is demonic at its core. So she was insane enough to send a bunch of text messages to her husband. Oh, hearts and smiley face emojis while he's, oh, you're such a great mother, pacifying her, babying her, making sure that she feels good about herself as a mother at a time where she's feeling vulnerable. And the whole time she's planning to go down into that basement and strangle their children to death with an exercise band. Now, let me ask you, does this sound like a father who set up his wife, killed his 3 children, and then pushed his wife out a window like the TikTokers are all saying? Is this what this man sounds like to you? Because that's not what I hear.
Cora was into princesses. And she had a lot of friends. And she just liked taking care of people.
And showing you, Dawson, correct?
Yes.
What kind of things was Dawson interested in 2020?
He was into firefighters and trucks. And he liked Paw Patrol.
Exhibit 11, Callan. He's only 8 months old, correct?
Correct.
Did he have any interest or
He was just a happy baby.
baby?
Everybody should be out rallying behind this man, not Lindsay Clancy. I will keep standing firmly on telling men that they should stay away from women who take psychiatric medications. If you are not in control of your own mind, you should not have access to children. You shouldn't get married. None of it. None of it. None of it. This highlights a problem that we have in America where women are the most coddled women in the entire planet. What is so bad in your life that you feel like you have the right to take the lives of your children because you're unhappy or you're sad or you're feeling depressed or whatever it is that you are going through when you have a husband? Everybody wants to blame the husband, say the husband wasn't doing enough. What else did you want the husband to do? The husband decided to get a job where he could work from home. The husband told her that she didn't have to go back to work. She had a nanny prior to that before they had the discussion about her not going back to work. He paid for all of her medications, was waiting on her hand and foot, going and picking up the medications for her. He had a savings fund that he started to have money set aside to help her with her medical care. He helped her with her medical appointments. What else was this man supposed to do for her? Don't forget the fact that she was a nurse too. They're trusting her that she's going to come to them if there's something else going on deep within her that needs to be addressed. The day that she committed the act, she says that she heard a male voice tell her that she needed to kill the children and then kill herself because then they would all be safe. And yet women are defending this, standing in solidarity with her. And it's freakishly, evilishly, very disheartening to see the level of delusion that women in America are under.
Lindsay didn't received the support that she deserved.
We love you, Lindsay, and we're here for you.
We're here to show support and love for her.
Today is to support the postpartum health of women. I have 5 children. I feel like anyone who has had kids understands that postpartum period. Lindsay Clancy was begging for help from everything we can see, and I don't think she got it.
I'm here supporting Lindsay because I've been through what Lindsay's going through and been failed with mental health.
She was failed, she was let down. So many women suffer from postpartum and they don't always get help that they need.
It means a lot to me because I can feel that pain and that disparity as a mother to a mother. Oh, it's Reddington. God bless Kevin. God bless him. We do love Kevin. Kevin is so instrumental in this process because he's given a voice to all these women that have had no voice for so long. We're so grateful that somebody's hearing us.
It feels like there is some level of a mass psychosis taking place where people are unable to think critically and rationally at this point. Now, what is mass psychosis? The definition of mass psychosis. Mass psychosis is a collective phenomenon where a large group of people share false beliefs, intense anxiety, and mental distress. Individuals lose touch with shared reality and adopt irrational behaviors. These are irrational behaviors. It's irrational to sympathize with a murderer. It's irrational to raise over $1 million for a woman who murdered her children. It's irrational for the women who are taking to social media and sharing all these videos talking about postpartum depression and then sharing clips and saying, we are all Lindsay. No, we're not all Lindsay. I'm a mother myself and I would never, ever think to harm my daughter a day in my life. Now, spiritually, I think that there's something really sinister taking place. And if you notice, there's legislation that's being passed in Massachusetts to allow late-term abortion up until birth. In this case is also in Massachusetts. Now you see the rally of women all over social media standing in solidarity with her. And there's a girl, I'm only going to show you one clip, but she lit her kitchen on fire and burnt her children with hot wax. She's an illegal, by the way. Yeah. So she's getting deported out of the country. Adios, muchacha.
Ya pasó, ya. Ya pasó. Tú eres mi hija. ¿Ok? Mírame. A ti nada ni nadie te va a poder hacer daño. Nada ni nadie. Me las toca a ustedes. ¿Ok?
What the heck is going on? What kind of portal to hell did the devil open up across the nation that is enticing women to light their kitchens on fire and try to burn their children with hot wax? They're also doing weird satanic rituals, doing witchery and sorcery.
All day, every day, therapist, mother maid, nymph, then a virgin, nurse, then a servant, just an appendage, lift to attendant, so that he never lifts a finger, 24/7, baby machine, so he can live.
At the cemetery wearing pink and telling the ghosts what Patrick did. Excuse me? This is demonic. And if you don't believe that this has a spiritual component to it, look at what Lindsay Clancy told her psychiatrist and reported to multiple people that she said at the time of murdering her own children. Three children were killed. This was, in a sense, a satanic ritual. If she knew it or not, she was offering these children up to Moloch. If you see that in biblical times, they offered their children up as sacrifices to their idols, to demons. That's what we see with abortion in the state of Massachusetts. That's what we saw here with this. There's another case that's all over the internet where a woman gave birth to her baby and suffocated her baby and killed her baby. And she confessed of it. And she just said that she was tired and she was stressed. What is this? Everything that's taking place right now reminds me of exactly what the Bible talks about will take place in the last days. And it says in Isaiah 5:20, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness. That's exactly where we're at in this timeline, where people are cheering on murderers, raising money for murderers, and attacking those that do good, making excuses for people who hurt the weakest members of society, and then blaming others and taking accountability off of those people when those people deserve to be put to death and taken out of society. I'm a firm believer in justice. People say, how can you be a Christian and be pro-death penalty? Well, because you see death all throughout the Bible, and nowhere in the Bible does it say that we have to extend our hands out and put the rest of society at risk for the sake of one individual. Let God deal with these people. Stop making excuses for these people. Stop making excuses for a woman like Lindsay Clancy, who is making sinister looks in the courtroom, grinning as she doesn't have to testify in her own case. If she was so sorry for what she did, if she was in a state of psychosis, why isn't she begging to be put to death? Why isn't she begging for justice to be served on behalf of her 3 children, crying out in agony for what she did? If that was me, and I'm sure I could speak for millions of other mothers out there in the world, if that were me and I was in a state of psychosis like she claims, and I don't know what I even did in the midst of that, and I wake up from that and I realize that I murdered my own children, I wouldn't be taking to a courtroom and having a defense lawyer defend me and having the state paying money to run a case against me on whether or not I should be in a psych ward or if I should be in a prison. I would look everybody in the face and I would say, I am an evil, wicked demon, and I deserve to atone for my sins and be sent straight to my maker, who is probably most likely going to cast my ass into hell. And you know what? That would be my punishment for what I chose to do, because nobody put a gun to her head and made her do that to her children. She chose to do that to her children herself. And maybe, just maybe, women need to start being held accountable when they make bad decisions. And not only bad decisions, but something so evil and sinister as taking the life of your own child, when that is the main component to womanhood. Taking care of your own children, loving your own children, being there for your own children, protecting your own children. But instead, there's an inversion taking place that is telling women that they should defend what is evil and attack what is good. You see them raising money for a murderer, and you see good people suffering, and you think, God, where are you and why is this happening? And we have to remember that Satan is rewarding his minions. And so his goal is to take as many people out with him that he can. So when it comes to the question is she guilty? Was she psychotic? Or was she in the right state of mind at the time of the murders? My answer to that, because I'm not in the courtroom, nor am I on the jury, is that I don't care what state of mind that she is in. Either way, she needs to be taken off of this earth, because we cannot have this in society. We cannot have people like this in our society. Psychotic or not psychotic. Now, does this look like the face of an innocent woman to you? Does this look like the face of a woman who feels sorrow for taking the life of her children? Look at that smug look on her face. Any mother who actually genuinely cared about her children would be in shambles. And I'm not talking about the fake crying that we saw through one part of the testimony where she was trying to deter and distract the prosecution at the time of examination. I'm not talking about that.
The type of IV they put directly into the bone on her right lower leg. Her hands at the time of my external examination were covered by police evidence bags, and they were secured at the wrist with tape of injuries such as bruising or abrasions.
And what about injuries?
All right, Counsel, we're going to take a break this time, all right?
All right. Jordan, close your notebooks. Place them on the chairs, please. Just wait, please.
Recess for a few minutes. I'm going to come back. We'll speak to counsel in regards to schedule. Okay.
Look at her countenance and her demeanor throughout the trial, and look at her faces there. Is Lindsay Clancy demon possessed? It's giving witch vibes. And as Lindsay Clancy took the lives of her 3 children one by one, she told each of them that it was time for them to go home to God.
And so when I went in on Tuesday the 31st, she said to me as I held her hand to comfort her, "I am so glad my children are safe."
Was there any other conversation that you had with her?
I replied theologically to Lindsay, and I said, "Lindsay, your children are safe. They're safe in heaven with God." And I held her hand throughout that conversation, and we prayed for them.
Did she make any other statements to you?
She did. She alluded to having heard a voice, and the voice, according to Lindsay, told her that if she did not follow the command, neither she nor her children would be safe.
And did she indicate whether it was a male voice, a female voice, loud, soft?
She alluded to the fact that it was a male voice and it was persistent.
Any further conversation that you recall about that, not about general things, you know?
That came up several times. I visited Lindsay minimally 14 times while she was hospitalized at the Brigham, and the voice conversation came up several times during several of our visits.
And I also want you to hear what this psychologist had to say about Lindsay hearing the voice that told her to go and kill her children.
Was of a male, and it was loud.
And what did the voice say?
The voice said to the effect of, "You should kill the kids. This is your last chance so that you can kill yourself."
And what did she say happened after she heard this voice?
She engaged in the activity of taking her children's lives.
And she was able to describe to you how she did that, correct? And she first stated that she took Dawson down to the basement?
Yes.
And then wrapped the exercise band around his neck and strangled him?
Yes.
And what did she say that she said when she did that?
She described that while that was happening, she was saying out loud, "Go to God."
And did she describe the same for both Cora and then Callan?
Essentially, yes.
And the voice that she said she heard, was it one time or more than one time she heard the voice?
Multiple times is what she described.
My question to that is, if she went to her husband and she was going to her family and she was saying that she was having thoughts of self-harm, she was also going to her psychiatrist, telling them that she was having thoughts of self-harm, and then she went to her husband and her mother and told them that she had thoughts of harming the children, why didn't she ever report to anybody in the family and tell them that she was hearing voices? Why did she send the husband out of the home and have a well thought out plan to kill the children if she wasn't in the right state of mind? It seems to me that she was at least coherent enough to put a plan together to end her and her children's lives. As a mother, like, if you knew that your children were in danger, and you knew that you were a danger to your children, why would you be concealing this information and not going to your loved ones and telling your loved ones specifically, I'm hearing voices. These voices are telling me that I should kill myself and the kids. Don't leave me alone with the kids. Something, anything. There was none of that. The most that ever happened was the one time she went to her husband and her mom and said, I'm having thoughts of wanting to harm the kids. She never said she was going to act on these things. She never said she had a plan. She never stated that she was hearing voices. I find that weird. If Lindsay Clancy was in a state of postpartum psychosis, was that psychosis a result of the dozen prescription medications that she was issued? And the answer to that is we don't know.
Over time, Ms. Clancy has avoided taking medications.
She's what?
Avoided taking medications.
Says who?
The description she gave me.
She told you that?
She resists taking medications, and for example...
No. Tell me what you mean by she resists taking medications.
There are individuals in this world who do not want to take medications, and I think she described that she is one of them.
Were you able to review her medication history during that time?
Yes.
And fair to say there was a significant amount of medications that you looked at as far as what she was taking and what it was prescribed for?
Correct.
Did anything stand out to you in the timeline of her medication history that was significant in this case?
Well, she was initially prescribed medication in September of 2022. She didn't actually start taking that medication, sertraline, until October. There were several different medications that were prescribed. It is not clear that she actually took every medication that was ever prescribed or that she necessarily took it more than 1 or 2 times. There was a period of trial on a second antidepressant called Prozac. There were various medications used to help her to sleep. And then there was a several week period of taking a medication called Seroquel or quetiapine.
Lindsay's mother specifically asked her, how are you feeling now that you've been off of the Seraphim? Lindsay said something along the lines of, not much different like I had hoped. So there was no difference, as we see in the records, of her feeling any better on the medication, feeling any better off the medication. So could it be because of the prescription medications and the pharmaceuticals? Yes. Could it not have been? Also, yes. The truth is, we don't really know. And if we live in a society where more than half of the population is being pumped with pharmaceuticals and they go out and they commit homicide, are they all going to be considered not guilty because they were on pharmaceutical drugs at the time of the incident? I don't think that that's a good standard or a precedent to set, and it's not one that I'm willing to ascribe to. Now, obviously, personally, I'm against big pharma for the most part. I'm very anti-vax. I'm very anti-drug in general. I'm a complete and total straight edge. I don't believe in taking medications generally. However, there are instances where people sadly have to take medications. And the way that the psychology field is set up is in a way where they are medicating people to try to prohibit them from being a danger to others in society, including themselves, more so than it is about healing these people. Because the truth is that if you have a severe mental illness, if you're suffering from schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, there's no hope for you. That really is the truth. You are stuck dealing with these mental illnesses, regardless of whether you're taking medication or not taking medication. And the point of those medications is basically to sedate you enough so that you are not a danger to yourself or others in society. Nobody can do anything for you aside from Jesus Christ if Jesus Christ delivers you. And if not, you're just going to be a tormented soul, as sad as that sounds. And we do see that with Lindsay Clancy all throughout the records of the 5 months that she was struggling with this postpartum depression, or was it bipolar disorder? And then she went into psychosis. Different experts are saying that she was suffering from different mental disorders, depending on which expert you listen to during the expert testimony in the trial. But if you look at all of the testimony from all of the different psychiatrists and the things that she was saying to them and what she was writing in her journal, she was being tormented, what I believe to be by a demon. Anxious thoughts. She's not good enough at this. She can't do this. Her kids are sick. Her kids are going to die. Her kids are going to be sick here. All these different things that she was being tormented by. And God did not give us a spirit of fear, but he gave us a spirit of love, power, and a sound mind. So anytime I see that activity, I know that there is demonology involved in it. So I don't wish that life on people, but I also don't believe that going through any of that or suffering from any of that gives you the right to take a life. You have no right to take another human life. Thou shalt not kill. It's a very, very cut and dry commandment. And that is why I believe that people that are severely mentally ill, they belong locked up. They can't be out in society because then things like this could happen. That's just the truth. So now what is the other goal of this? You see people all over social media, and then the men are saying, well, we don't want to get married. All the women are on psychiatric drugs. The women don't want to be with the men, and they're told that motherhood isn't important and that they shouldn't value family and that they should go out and work careers. So you have the gender wars and the division increasing and destroying the possibility of the family unit even more, which is the foundation of everything in our society. And how do we save society from collapsing and dying and ending feminism? Men end feminism by putting these hoes in check. You can accomplish this by being direct, assertive, calm, and most importantly, a good leader, which every woman craves, which dismantles hyper masculinity in women. Most women behave this way because they don't feel safe with men. So if you approach them in an abrasive way and you try to be forceful, you are just going to create more hyper masculinity and feminism in women. And the Bible has a word of wisdom for this. It says, husbands, love your wives. So loving doesn't have to be soft. He that wins souls is wise. I feel like a man who knows his woman can do so wisely in a way that can get through to her. So just lead her out of this. Lead women out of this. I know that a lot of men would probably say it's not our job. I'm sorry, God made it your job. We are under you guys. It's God, man, woman, and then children. That is the hierarchy that God established in his kingdom. And that is the hierarchy that we need to follow. So those are my thoughts on Lindsay Clancy. I believe that Lindsay Clancy, was she failed by the pharmaceutical industry? She could have been, but at the end of the day, she is still responsible for the actions that she chose to take when she killed her children. And we can't live in a society where we accept this behavior, where we defend this behavior, where we raise money for this behavior. We just can't have that. So I suggest everybody to just come back to reality. Come back to reality. We need to come back to reality. Come back to earth. Gotta love living on a busy street. And on that note, thank you so much for being here with me today on the Morgan Ariel Show, and I hope to see you again. Leave a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are on this. And as always, God bless.